In 2015, I was working as a corporate director in the beauty industry. Obviously, about that time, video started to explode in that industry. We started to make videos. At first, quite poorly. I was hiring videographers, doing video planning, and the fact is those videos weren't getting much traction at all. Since that time, I've evolved my knowledge and experience on the video creation process, learning how to plan and create videos in a way that affects your end user so they continue to engage with that content, learn from it, gain value from it, and of course, in the end, take you up on your call to action, whatever that might be. Most recently, I've been working one-on-one with businesses, consulting them on how to best approach video. One of the very clear facts is almost every time somebody comes to me and they want to talk about producing video or a series of videos, they are completely wrong about how to go about this process. In this video, I'll take you through the 4 key steps that you must have in your planning process before you ever pick up a camera and shoot 1 second of content for your business or for your personal brand. Hi folks, I'm Chris Solomay, and on this channel I focus on personal and career development. And in this segment, I'm going to be talking about video because it's become so prevalent anywhere from large businesses, obviously, right? Large corporations have taken advantage of that, but nowadays, obviously, all the way down to the individual. This past couple of weeks, I've been working on a project for a person who's a public speaker. We've done past projects such as online course creation for them, as well as just some social media content that he was kind of willing to dabble in. But this time, we're creating a series of videos for him to use to sell his in-person programs. He's going to take these videos, he's going to send that video to a prospect so that prospect can see a little bit about what the experience is going to look like. And then from there, they hopefully schedule for in-person programs as well as coaching. Now, just like almost every other project, when he first came to me, it was like, just film it and, work your magic. But the reality is, if you want to create effective content, it doesn't quite work that way. And oftentimes you have this idea that your brand, or maybe if you're a personal brand or your business, sort of speaks louder than it actually does. You have this idea that most people understand what you do, or they're going to get a feel from it just from some general content that you post. But the fact is, that's absolutely false. Your target person, whether that's a client, whether that's a viewer, they need to be absolutely clear that your content is related to either a problem they're trying to solve or something that's going to move the needle forward for them. It has to be relevant to them, and they have to understand why they'd be watching this thing. Now, maybe in the old days of shooting video, like you could easier captivate people just by posting a video, but those days are way gone now. Now, it takes much more planning and strategizing to make sure that your video is going to land in the hands that it needs to, and they're going to understand exactly why they're going to take their 30, 60, 90 seconds, 7 minutes to watch this thing. So after now creating over 200 videos for clients and brands, whether they be large or small personal brands, I've landed on a 4-step process that I walk every client through and that you can use whether you're creating a marketing strategy or you decide that you're actually going to use video to move the needle forward in your business. So the first step in this process is the strategy session. The strategy session includes getting clear on your timeline and the goal of the project. So what are you trying to make happen for this project? Is this a sales video? Is there going to be a call to action at the end? Is it to click a button or to buy a thing or to go to your website? You have to get super clear about what it is that you're creating this video for. Now, this might sound like common sense, but I promise you, this is where people miss probably about 100% of the time when a video falls short of what it was trying to do. You either didn't understand your target viewer well enough, or the content of the video simply did not connect with them, meaning you didn't clearly identify straight up in the beginning why I should continue to watch this video. So most of us vaguely understand what a target client is. Oftentimes we keep in mind their age, their demographic, how much money they make, where they might live. But if you want to be successful, you must go deeper than that. You have to consider what problem or challenge is this person trying to solve? Also, how are they going to land in this video? For instance, you're watching this on YouTube right now. So you are a different target than somebody if I was going to like go after TikTok or Instagram or perhaps Facebook. It's pretty common knowledge that all social platforms have a native language. And the fact is that if I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'm going to be a much different scroller if I'm looking on YouTube. On YouTube, usually I'm going to be typing something in search. And because of that, if the video starts to deliver what it promises, I'm willing to commit more of my time to it. You've got to decide up front who your target user is and how they're going to be digesting this thing. This is going to affect all kinds of decisions you're going to make about the video, from how you shoot it, where you shoot it, how long are the segments, how much text or flashiness is going to be happening. Here in a kind of an educational type video, it's perfectly acceptable for me to sit and talk here and kind of go a little bit deeper. But if this was an Instagram post, you would have been bored in the first 15 seconds and probably scrolled away. Which brings me to the final point of the strategy session. You have to understand your production needs. If you're a personal brand like the project that I was just describing, and you're putting together a package that you're hoping that you can use to sell to bigger clients, something that can be evergreen, something that you can send to clients and it lives forever, you can just wing it and video one of your events and hope that you get the right sound bites and hope that you get the right look and feel. But what's going to be way more impactful than that is to go in with a plan. So how are we going to shoot this? Are there some sound bites that we'd like to add to this? Do we want to have a lot of action shots? What's your wardrobe look like? What does the backdrop look like there? Can we go in and look at the room and pre-set up lighting and make sure that we get you filmed in the perfect light? What are those absolute perfect one-liners that your client's going to want to hear in a video that you need to make sure you nail in that live presentation, or that we capture on film separately so we can use those sound bites in the video? We have to understand how we want to shoot this video in order to get as close as possible to really connecting with the target client and the person who's going to be watching this. The second step in this process is that once you understand who your target viewer is, how they're going to be digesting this video, and you feel clear about the project goals, now it's time to create a compelling story for this person to view. What is the most attractive script and style of shooting that we can create that will hopefully capture this person's attention? Here's a great example of this. If I was creating a video for an accounting course, I would not be using highly flashy, creative graphics, lots of text animations, lots of moving animations, because most of the time, accountants are going to want things in a neat, orderly way. They're going to want it understandable. So we're going to create our story, our branding, the way we're shooting in an order and in a style that would make sense for somebody who likes things neat and buttoned up, all in a line, like an accountant. On the exact other hand, the beauty industry in which I came from, we knew that we had to capture attention really quickly, really flashy, have some of those cool transitions in there, have things that would keep the eye of our person, because it's a pretty well-known fact that many beauty industry professionals have ADD like me. These are artistic people. These are people that are very visually oriented and inspired by visual things. That's that industry. So when we created content, it had to be beautiful. It had to be something captivating. And then number two, we had to make sure that the video style matched up with the pace of the thinker and the person who is going to be digesting that content.
And ultra conditioning end results.
The next step is actually now that you're on the shoot, you're in production now. So how are you delivering this? Do you have somebody that's doing a talking head thing like me, unscripted, using bullet points? Are you teleprompting, which is another really successful way to deliver content, especially when you have really long scripts? We did that a lot in the corporate world when we were delivering training videos, again, that get watched by thousands of people that are captive audience because they want to learn this thing. It's a specialty skill. So when you have a really long script like that, teleprompting is often a great way to go. Another style might be leaving it up to your videographer, where you've created a shot list of lots of different B-roll that you needed them to get in order to help put the story together. Again, all of this gets talked about in the strategy session up front. In the video planning, you're creating that compelling story, and now it's time to shoot that content and shoot it in a way where you can very easily put it together, so you're not just putting random B-roll on top of something because you didn't shoot the proper footage for it. And then finally, and maybe one of the hardest parts, is post-production. If you're the person who's hiring a videographer and hiring an editor, this is the time that you think they're just going to work their magic. However, oftentimes with really small brands or video projects that are personal, you're going to want to agree on an update schedule and a feedback schedule that suits that person. So again, here's an example of something that was a pretty good learning experience for me recently. I was working with a speaker. I shot a full event and then created a highlight reel. And they just felt that the highlight reel was missing a little of those key moments, maybe some key phrases that he may have said during that workshop. However, there was so much there that I just chose key phrases that worked for me, for my taste, as I was putting it together, which this was a mistake, by the way. Afterwards, he loved the feel of the reel. He loved the pace. He loved the look. He loved the testimonials, but he felt like his part was missing some of the oomph, some of the key moments that he would have liked to have in the video. So in order to remedy this, I'd sent him the raw footage that I cut down as minimal as possible, and he went through the key phrases to find moments in time that he really felt that he said something impactful that really worked for him, and then we added that back into the video. Now, this was actually a big learning experience for me, even though I've been doing this for years, because so many times, smaller brands especially, are often so busy with their day-to-day work that they're reluctant to put in the back-end time in post-production. They don't want to go back and have to watch through their footage and find those key moments. However, the smaller your brand is, especially if it's a personal brand and you're developing it, the more important this is. You must stay in collaboration with the client through this post-production process. What this means is creating a post-production update and feedback schedule. Now, this will vary for every person based on, for one, their availability, for two, their willingness and desire to do it, for three, how much they really care. Some people that I work with are like, yeah, you choose what sounds good to you, and others really want that impact hit. They really want to get that key line. So these are the things that you could find out in your strategy session, as well as make sure you use your feedback sessions to get this feedback so your deliverables are perfect the first time around. So if you're watching this video as a business person or as somebody that makes videos for other people, you can manage your outcomes better and make sure that the video content that you're creating for your business or your brand is being delivered to the right person with the right content, right relevant content for the right reason, so they stick and stay, and then eventually take you up on your call to action. So there they are, the 4 steps that I use for my video production planning process when I'm working with businesses, both large and small. Having a strategy session, creating a compelling story in video planning, on-location production and making sure you nail that, and then your post-production process and really being on the same page and understanding how and when those updates are going to happen, how you're going to get feedback, what's that agreed timeline. That's going to make everything go smoother and raise the probability that you're going to be delivering the right video for the right person. If you like this video and you're in business or you're a personal brand and you've been thinking about creating your own content, and check out this video I recently posted on should you be making video content for yourself. I think you'll find that video insightful, and if you've been thinking about doing it, it might help you make that decision. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.